thought they were talking about demons. Something like that.
Okay. All right. Make sure we're up and running like we're supposed to be. Sometimes the output likes to change things on me for no reason.
I get to do nothing.
All right.
Whoops.
All right, we are live and leaking audio. Tell all your friends the Writer Brothers are live.
We have arrived.
Go out on all your social medias. Text your grandma.
Tell your dad. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. You'll be getting everybody up in here.
That's right.
Everybody grab a bone and huddle round. Discuss some crazy things that other people are just too cowardly. You are just now joining us. Please feel free to call us at 555-5555. That number is fake, and I won't have to answer. So feel free to call us again. That number is 555-5555.
We'll get numbers eventually, whether or not we actually do them for this show. It'll be a rarity. But...
Oh, dude, I don't care about getting numbers. I'm just not answering the call. I hate phone calls. Burning bad.
How's it any different than doing this?
I don't know, man. Look, if I went to a science school, I could tell you the greater sociology has to do with why, for some reason, I hate phone calls and this doesn't compute, but I feel like people are listening in. Now I know they are. I don't care. If I listen in, they're listening to people listening to my side, and I feel like I've always seen Again, if you're just joining us, we have just had breaking news that Ice Cube's Area 51 movie will not be made.
Darn, I was really looking forward to that one as soon as you said it, and then you dashed my hopes. Excellent. Well done, sir.
This just in.
Nobody cares! Oh, well.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to introduce my friend Justin. Has the dad awoken? Bury the bored bear. Walk through the woods, looking for boards. He kept saying, I'm bored. Nobody could find. Bury the bored bear. He was still in the woods, looking for boards. These new children's books are being written as we speak. These are what they're trying to put here. Harry the Karen cow milked every Tuesday, but wouldn't milk on Sunday. He wouldn't elaborate as to why. And that made the farmer very, very angry. Any consideration for the Lord's Sabbath. So they went straight to hell.
What are you reading?
Oh, I'm making stuff up while I'm trying to kill dead air, dude.
pretty good. That sounds like something you should put in a children's book because that's educational.
Dude, I
Also, we don't
honestly,
have
it's
dead air. We have
never-
music going in the background. Thank you very much.
it's just stuff I randomly think of.
That's pretty good.
Starts every day. It helps me get through the day. It's Black Flood season.
Morality. Tonight, after I finally hit the mute button, we'll talk about our thoughts on Alien Earth, as well as the latest Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and all the latest Hollywood gossip and drama coming up on tonight's Entertainment Information Intelligence Podcast. And the day may come when I finally run a competent news show, but that was not today. That was starting off promising this evening until just now with whatever happened and trying to get this show going. Anyway, I'm Petey York, joined tonight by the ever so lovely Mr. Pollo Zapatos. And joining us eventually after he's done with his night off will be Corey Owenwich in residence when he gets in. But yeah, John, how are things in Pollo Zapatos world these days?
All things are on fire. Don't take away the screens from your children or they'll light all things on fire. But it's life as well.
That just sounds absolutely wonderful. The joys of parenthood are just the joys, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we are here, of course, to talk about all things pop culture related, and we've got a lot of those things to dive into right now. And so here we go. First up on the list tonight is, of course, box office. Oh, and of course, I got to make a shout out locally here in Key West. It is actually the 9th annual Bill Hobie Day. If you don't know what Bill Hobie Day is, then you should probably tune into Whale 99.5 next time tomorrow and find out. We'll get more into it then. But first, let's talk about K-pop Demon Hunters. Sings its way to an estimated 17 to 18 million in first theatrical win for Netflix. In the animated movie sensation, is the animated movie sensation K-pop Demon Hunters a unicorn or the beginning of a beautiful new friendship between Netflix and theater owners? Most in Hollywood are betting on the former, despite the fact that a special 2-day sing-along event of the hit animated movie grossed a chart-topping 17 million to 18 million from 1,700 North American theaters over the August 22nd to 24th weekend. According to estimates provided early Monday by exhibition sources and rival studios with access to certain data, on Sunday, estimates were slightly higher, or 18 to 20 million. But since Netflix, which has had a turbulent relationship with exhibitors, didn't report box office, no one will ever know the actual number, nor will the film be included in ComScore's official box office chart. Or ComScore's, excuse me. Instead, New Line and Warner Bros. Horror sensation Weapons is listed as the official winner of the August 22nd to 24 frame with 15.4 million from 3,631 cinemas. And I actually heard that Weapons was good from our Hollywood writer Kalman Pasha, who we occasionally have on here. We should probably just have him back one day just to talk some pop culture and get his thoughts, honestly. Because Cameron's just a good time. But John, what do you think of K-pop Demon Hunters smashing the estimated box office, supposedly beating out Weapons?
I feel like they wrote this same article like 5 years ago for Demon Slayers.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know for sure if that's true or not, but it'd be
I'd
really
have to
funny
dive
to find
into
out if it was the same person. But I'm pretty sure Netflix did the same thing with Demon Slayer, and they released the Train movie in theaters, and people were super hyped about that. And then I think the next season was on Hulu for some reason. I don't remember why. So like, can't remember if it was because Netflix didn't own Demon Slayers, they just did the original production and then they were able to go to box office. But if anything, it feels like Demon Hunters is Netflix is saying, we saw what you did there. Which,
Yeah.
if anything, finally, like, dude, if you're realizing that people can still make money with animated movies, because spoiler alert, kids still exist.
Absolutely.
You got older, but the kids were still born.
Yeah, and I think stillborn as in they were born, not stillborn. Anyway, yeah, it's crazy to see this. At the same time, I am also hopeful because of the upcoming Frankenstein movie, by Benicio del Toro. So that, I think, or I can never get that name right. Anyway, but yeah,
I don't know if Benicio's right, because I never know that part, but I know Del Toro was
Del
right.
Toro's the correct part. I know, right? That's the part I remember. Tony Hale worried he'd be replaced in Toy Story 4 by a huge star. The actor who voices Forky in the animated pic also returns for Toy Story 5. Okay, there's a fifth one now?
Dude, I don't want you to shit your pants, but my son's favorite character is Forky. Dude, if Toy Story doesn't know how to just nail a generation, every single generation
God,
that's ever
this
been
must
born,
be what it's like to be a parent of a kid who likes the Star Wars prequels. I mean, I
love the prequels.
I do too, but that's beside the point. I don't know. I felt that Toy Story 3 was a proper send off. You know, like it was the proper ending to that series of films.
You wanna learn a lot about yourself. Watch Toy Story 4. Toy Story 3 was great, but Toy Story 4 was like, yeah, no, we're not done dragging you through these
more Toy Stories.
daisies. No, dude, it is literally generational. Honestly, it seems like they write what the kids are most doing and thinking lately, and their new character is the favorite every time.
Well, okay, but what most characters are doing and thinking anyway, or what most kids are doing and thinking anyways, is stupid. At least what they share on the internet. So,
dude, as a parent and as a TV commentator at the same time, I'm telling you, Toy Story knows what they're doing.
Gotta go where the money's
Fast and
at.
Furious really went with the family. Toy Story was like, no, these are legit just stories about toys. You're the ones crying about it. And I am.
Well,
they're really heartfelt stories about toys. And they really do challenge your thoughts on what it means to be mature and what it means to be a friend and what it means to be your own person. And Toy Story 4 did that. And Forky was a thing in it.
Well, I don't have a problem with the character Forky. I just never got around to watching Toy Story 4 because I just couldn't stomach watching Toy Story 4.
Dude, I'm going to be honest, that's my favorite thing about being a dad. I was never going to watch these. But when I get to watch a rare gem and it just hits you right in the feels, you're like, nice. They still got it.
Well, then I'll probably have to give it a try. Moving on. Who opens a VCR? Come on. Read the words, Petey. Who the hell opens a video store in 2025? Renoir, that's who. A direct descendant of the Impressionist master has made a bold stroke of his own.
Did you say Renoir? I'm pretty sure it's Renoir.
Renoir. Yeah, it's probably Renoir.
They're talking about
Renoir. Do you even say the N in 2025? No, it's Renoir.
No, it's mostly just because they're talking about the Impressionist Renoir, and I guess he's his son.
Renoir, pronounced Renoir because that's how you say it in English. Whereas in Americanese, we pronounce every letter literally, except when you don't. Renoir was, paintings by Pierre Auguste Renoir. So you were right. Hang in every major museum in Southern California. The French master's son, filmmaker Jean Renoir, was nominated for an Oscar in 1946. Okay, I'm going to pause right here. See, I liked when articles would take controversial name pronunciations and they would do the old Webster's dictionary thing and like copy and paste it and put it right next to the name
so you knew phonetic pronunciation.
Yeah, the phonetics.
That's racist. I don't remember why, but somebody said phonetics is racist.
Oh, dude, any kids I have, they're learning the phonetic alphabet at birth. Like A is for Alpha and B is for Bravo.
Oh, dude, then you're gonna want to teach them Spanish because their alphabet song actually sings. A B C H D. That's all I got.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot. Let's keep reading the article. Believe it or not, there's another Renoy working in Hollywood today, and he's a trailblazer on his own way. Well, I don't know if you'd say opening a VHS stores. Trailblazing, per se. Trailblazing backwards? Is he going backwards in time? I will say this. I do kind of like the Shining rug he's got here. That's pretty cool. And I think we got the Goonies on in the background. So, all right, let's see what this is all about. The great-grandson of the Impressionist painter and the great-grandson of the filmmaker who, at the height of streaming, opened a video rental store in Burbank called Be Kind Video. Oh, I think that's his actually... Wait, wasn't there a movie about...
a movie called Be Kind Rewind with Jack Black?
But that came out before this. I'm confused, so... crashing the chat is Simon Dust 64 says, "Hi, I keep streaming in the background. Thank you, Simon Dust 64. You are now officially a producer of tonight's program," or whatever you want to title yourself with. That's right, folks.
You guys can
We
list
appreciate
all
you
of your
guys.
comments to Simon Dust 64.
Yeah, if you don't even want to comment, if you guys just want to listen to us in the background, we appreciate it. But we'd appreciate all the more when you guys tell us that you do it so we can say thank you.
And
It's
make sure to
important for
send
me to
all of
say
our
thank
hate
you.
mail to you.
All right. Let's see. Let's get back to this. Let's see. When people find out about his family history, Renoy admits it's a weird thing. Not that I'm not wanting to talk about it, but their first question is always the same. He says, "Do you have any paintings?" I always go, "Yeah, they're in my car." Yeah.
That's the best answer.
I'm liking this guy already. Matthew, 41, grew up on a farm in Stevenson, California. Town of about 300 people in the Central Valley. His father
Dude,
owned
I bet you all 12 of them are going to be really pissed because you couldn't pronounce it right.
I know, dude. I just all 12 residents. You're gonna write a complaint letter to the writerbrothers@gmail.com, and if you guys, if you send us complaint mail, I will read it. Absolutely. Will I censor it? Well, there's certain words I can't say on YouTube, so.
No, but I can say that you said them.
Right. We could imply things with the phonetic alphabet. So yeah, what was I rambling on about? Oh yeah, it's not like my grandmother just sat us down. It's part of their lives, Matthew's grandmother, Jean Renoir's son, who would take the family to France every few years, and sometimes they'd visit the painter's home, which has been preserved as a museum. On those trips, he met his cousin, French actress, and César Award nominee Sophie Renoy, and they're still tight. He recently attended her niece's wedding. Oh, isn't that nice?
What a sweetheart.
All right. Like his great-grandfather, Matthew would gravitate towards cinema. After high school, he enrolled in community college before transferring to San Francisco State to pursue cinema studies. Later, living in Los Angeles, he worked as a cinematographer on independent films, including a documentary about a valley couple famous for their immersive Halloween installations. But Renoy was malleable. When the real estate market boomed early in the pandemic, he found a niche shooting drone footage for high-end brokers, which paid well, but certainly wasn't why he'd fallen in love with the cinema, or with the camera. Renoy wasn't a careerist. Searching for his next act, he was reminded of a childhood dream of owning a video rental store. Well, having grown up in the Blockbuster and Hollywood video era, I can understand having, at one point, I thought of one day growing up and having a minimum wage job at a video store. But by the time 2009 rolled around, that dream was dead. But he kept his alive. Huh?
Damn Redbox.
Stupid Netflix. Damn internet. Computers. Streaming and everything. Let's see. He recalled aimlessly roaming the aisles with his older brother, and while they rented a Rainbow Bright movie so often the owner suggested they just buy the tape, there was a sense of discovery. We didn't have cable, he says. We probably didn't even own a couple dozen tapes or whatever. But the video store with the posters, the mobile, advertising, the stuff coming out, we all had TVs that were like this big, he says, mimicking the tiny 5-inch screen in his mind. It felt like IMAX. Well, yeah, I mean, you hold the screen up to your face. It's pretty easy. That's why our Oculus does the thing that it does. Anyway, there's this vibe he's tried to capture at Be Kind Video, a 520-foot storefront that's designed to feel like your best friend's basement, with wood paneling from the 80s and a vintage Nintendo plugged into a hulking TV. New releases rent for just $4. There's even a lockbox outside for returns. The late fee is $1.25 a day, and Blockbuster-style membership cards are in the works. Oh man, I might just have to go get a membership just so I can have that. Be Kind stocks more than 12,000 titles on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray, and many are for sale. On the day I visited, 14-year-old Arabella from Toluca Lake was hunting for gifts for a friend's birthday. Teenagers are into physical media. It's less modern, Arabella explains, her mom likening it to vintage shopping. And we're already there. Okay.
Hey, just move into a museum, brother.
Dude, I think I like grew like 3 new gray hairs just after reading
Dude,
that.
the Smithsonian is accepting me as an exhibit.
God,
next
we're
week.
about to, yeah, we're not gonna go viral. We're just gonna be a Smithsonian exhibit, right? The Writer Brothers direct the Smithsonian. Yeah, Arabella explains her mom liking it to vintage shopping. I had to say it again. After browsing for 10 minutes, they left with the sweet haul of Happy Gilmore, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, the Lego Batman movie, and the Goonies. Oh, I'd love to get the Lego Batman movie on VHS.
To be honest, all of those are great movies.
Yeah, right? Of streaming, Renoy sniffs, I feel like you're given options but no choice. You know, kind of, yeah. It's a weird distinction, he admits, but it's real to him. Netflix has something like 3,800 titles, he says, which sounds like a lot until you realize they have nothing earlier than The Sting, which is 1973. Some films, including some David Lynch stuff, aren't available digitally at all. He's not a snob either, pointing out that Spice World doesn't stream anywhere. Well, he's kind of got a point there. All right, joining us from the netherworld of the Sith, it's Mr. Corione, Witch in Residence.
Hello, good gentlemen. How are you today?
Sorry, I meant netherworld of Canada. Anyway.
It's about the same, really.
Yeah, there's Canada, and then there's the one you see on TV. Anyway.
So, what are we into here?
We're literally in the middle of this guy that opened a VHS store, so we're getting into our intelligence deep dive, and so...
Parker,
yeah.
can you say his name again?
What?
Can you say his name again?
What's my name again?
No, what's his name again? The guy who opened the store?
Oh, Renoy, whatever.
And his grandfather's name?
I don't know. Some famous painter. It's Matthew Renoy's great-great-grandfather, Pierre Auguste.
Yeah, it's Renoir.
Renoy?
Yeah.
Americanese requires me to pronounce every letter literally, though.
Well, then you would be saying Renoir.
Yeah, anyway. Proto Badger says, I am in and not at the end of stream. Greetings all. Yes, welcome Proto Badger.
Hey, Proto.
Good to see you in the
Proto
comments.
Badger.
Please blow it up with all of your thoughts. Just explode your opinions in our comments section.
Hear your feelings all over me.
Yes, I want to feel your feelings all over that part of the shit right there. I'll get this right eventually. My orientations. There is the comments, and there is the story, and there is where I poop.
Everybody poops.
Cause shit rolls
No,
south.
no. Nobody poops but you, dude.
Nobody, yeah,
Nobody.
ew, disgusting. Human shit. Feel bad. So yeah. Anyway, it says, including some David Lynch stuff. All right, back. Right, getting back to the article. Opening an analog video store long after the industry shifted to streaming and, there only being one Blockbuster left. may seem counterintuitive, though there's precedent. Matthew's good friend owns a typewriter repair shop in the Arts District. You know, we still actually have a VCR repair shop here in Key West, so maybe it's hanging on. Maybe people are going to get so fed up with modern clarity and technology. There's too much AI. We need to go back to the videos.
There's too much clarity. I like that. Things make too much sense. We need to go back to like crazy ass hallucinogenics of the 60s.
Yeah,
so that we feel better about everything.
Star Trek looked amazing because you dropped acid, not because it was actually good. That's why people remember it as being incredible. Proto Badger says, I am finally within the time and the coffee is working. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I forgot to have my other dose of mushroom coffee. Oh, well. Maybe next week.
Mushroom coffee?
Yes, yeah, it's the new craze here in the United States because people are having trouble pooping, so mushrooms are the answer.
God, the embargoes are the tariffs are hitting you guys harder than I thought.
Yeah, no, pretty soon we'll be back to high fructose corn syrup everything because everyone's going to want their cheap food back and we have to, do it all in the United States because we need to bring the End of the World podcast back. All right, back to the article that I've had up on the screen this whole time. All right, opening an elevator source of truth, though there's precedent about his good friends to operators. On the eve of Be Kind's 3-year anniversary, it's been open for 3 years. He reveals he's talking to his landlord about doubling his footprint. So he's gonna have a bigger relic store. Thankfully, he's got a short commute. Renoir
lives in a guest house in Studio City.
Owned by the film historian Anthony Slide and his partner Robert Gitt, a noted film preservationist he'd met through a mutual friend, and late actor-producer Norman Lloyd, who died in 2021 at 106 and was likely the only person to have worked with both Alfred Hitchcock and Amy Schumer. Wow. Gitt, who'd worked as a preservation officer...
So somebody really awesome and somebody really not. Got it.
I know, but Schumer's just so chaotic neutral to me. Because there's moments, and there's things I hear, and then there's other movies she's in, and I'm like, oh my god, why? Gitt, who'd worked as a preservation officer at the UCLA Film and Television Archive for 20 years, not only knew Jean Renoir personally,
Renoir.
He'd actually restored his 1945 film, The Southerner, which landed the director his only Oscar nomination. Before Matthew moved in, Gitt says he used to screen films in 16mm and 35mm in the guest house. Wow. When asked about having a Renoir in his guest house, Gitt is thrilled. He doesn't drive anymore, and his younger tenant recently took him and Slide into the Huntington Gardens. The tickets were under the name Renoir. Gitt said to be expected a hint of recognition from the box office agent. Nobody said anything whatsoever, Gitt says. In a way, when Ross sees himself as part of the family business. I still want to make films, he says, adding that he has done some producing, including a 2019 film, The Ascent, which you can rent at Be Kind and on Amazon. But what he loves most about cinema maybe is the community, which you can't really get from your couch. Be Kind Video hosts lo-fi screenings in-house and Q&As with such guests as Dean Cundy and cinematographer on the original Jurassic Park. This shop, Renoir says, while looking at the retro carpet, it's a clubhouse. Okay, so we may have to have a future broadcast from this spot.
I mean, it would be kind of badass to do a live stream from there.
Like, we got to do it here. We got to do it at the last surviving Blockbuster. I mean, this whole story just has TWB. TWB needs to make a yearly sabbatical like that. We got to do it once, and then it's got to be a yearly tradition. Like, we meet at the video store. We meet at Be Kind. I mean, it does kind of go with our
Well, there are a couple of things that I would love to do with you guys, and one of them is this. One of the other ones is the guy who created D&D, Gary Gygax, the home where he first designed and played D&D with his friends is an Airbnb now. So how badass would it be to get TWB and our associated nerds together and play a D&D game in like the mecca of D&D? Right? Like that would be a kind of a badass thing to do live, right?
Yeah.
Play a one shot together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. John 5 says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Alien Earth. Yes, we will be talking about the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth tonight. And then if someone wants to tease the 3rd episode, go right ahead. Can't really spoil much considering the ending is still a ways away. But yes, John 5, I believe you were also tuning into our content for Severance, which we'll finish that season eventually. It's just...
I will say for the record, though, to preview our thing, it's Alien Earth is pretty badass.
I'm happy with it, to say the least. We will definitely, get into it later. Kobe Bryant film is in the works at Warner Bros. A film project centered around NBA superstar Kobe Bryant's journey to the Los Angeles Lakers has landed at Warner Bros., the Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. Alex Son and Gavin Johansson? I can read. Penned the spec screenplay with the 8th pick, which follows the high-stakes process that led to Bryant getting drafted into the NBA in 1996. The project was generating high interest from other studios and streamers before Warner stepped in and preemptively to nab it. The director has not yet been attached. With the 8th pick is said to focus on the New Jersey Nets and then general manager John Nash, who held the 8th pick in draft and considered taking Bryant out of high school. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this a movie you probably... I probably will, considering the life and talent. I mean, we did watch the Magic Johnson documentary, and that was pretty good.
Yeah, so I feel like this is going to be another one of these, like the Magic Johnson biography, that's probably going to step to places to make you really understand that there was a man behind the game.
Not quite, actually. Sorry, I should have read one more sentence. The project is described as having elements of Moneyball, The Social Network, and Air. So it'll be more docudrama.
I'm okay with that still, too, because...
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's got an interesting life when you actually take a look at the whole thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, even if you're not a fan of the sport, it's definitely I mean, everybody knows who this guy was at one point or another. I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of basketball myself, but I played basketball video games, and, you better believe I knew that to pick the Lakers and have, play as Kobe Bryant because he was the best. I mean, he was one of the best for many years.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you can dislike the game, but still give the player your full attention.
Absolutely. No, I mean, right? I served with guys that spent thousands of dollars just to attend his last game that he played. And it wasn't even a guarantee that it was going to happen because it was a playoff game. So, because I think it was, the Golden State Warriors, and I forgot who they were going against. But yeah, it was... No, I followed the cultural phenomenon. I mean, it was a big deal then. And yeah, it was also a big deal when he unfortunately passed away in the helicopter crash.
Yeah. And I mean, it was an absolute tragedy. And I think getting an opportunity, if they do this right, where they are celebrating his life, then I think this could be a fantastic thing to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Poyo, any thoughts?
Kobe.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Charlie Day would be up for 3rd Horrible Bosses film. I probably haven't seen the first 2 yet.
So the premise of Horrible Bosses is it's 3 guys who are working low-level jobs with 3 female bosses who are different versions of terrible.
No. Horrible Bosses 1 is
well, Jennifer
Charlie
Aniston
works for Jennifer Aniston, who is a dentist. He is the hygienist assistant. Jason Bateman works for Kevin Spacey.
Oh, that's right.
And the other one, Jason Sudeikis, works for.
I thought he was working for a woman too.
No, I think it's like Tom Cruise in a wig or something like that, or not Tom Cruise, but the Penguin. I think it's the Penguin in a bald cap.
Danny DeVito?
No, the Penguin from the show right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But I'm pretty sure he plays the son of the boss that Jason Sudeikis liked and thought he was going to get the role, but then that guy has a heart attack, and so then he works for the son. No, it's not a woman-hating job. It's literally
no. It's not a
possible bosses. Like Kevin Spacey is Satan. Like in the beginning of the show, of the whole series, Kevin Spacey promotes himself to senior VP and president of the company.
Yeah, but the point of it is they are terrible leaders that they're working for, and just do the worst stuff, and that's kind of what's funny about it. And I mean, these were actually pretty funny little comedies. At least the first one was
hilarious. The second one's even funnier because the first one's about 3 average people trying to plot to kill their bosses, and then each of them killing each other's boss so they wouldn't be the first suspect or even on the suspect list.
Yeah.
And then the second one, they get fleeced by one of those air mall people, and they try to kill or kidnap his son, and then they decide not to do it. But the son finds out that that's what they were trying to do and kidnaps himself, and it's hilarious too. Because the 3 people, Jason Bateman, Jason Sudeikis, and Charlie Day, just the funniest chemistry.
Yeah, they are good, funny actors, and this does come together. I honestly think this is a comedy franchise that's worth continuing. I don't know if we need the same 3 main actors. I feel like this is the kind of comedy series that you could put any 3 guys and any number of bosses into this, and the formula works. So long as it's really terrible dudes.
Well, more than anything, it's the chemistry between it's literally Always Sunny driven up for one experience to 11. One full episode is devoted to one full thing being drawn all the way out and experienced. And that's what you're saying. It really is more of just any time where it's a bro movie or a buddy movie where the people are just trying to survive in normal life, and the normal is chaotic hell. Absurdist chaotic hell. Jennifer Aniston's character in this series so far is probably the funniest Jennifer Aniston you will ever see, and if you watch Friends, I stand by that 100%.
Oh yeah, no. She is way funnier in this than she was ever in Friends.
The most adult, and we've seen We're the Millers. She is so funny.
Well, that's good to know. All right, well, then maybe there'll be a third one. I don't know.
If there is a third one, it's going to be worth watching at the very least, is I think what we're saying.
Nobody 2 producers David Leitch and Kelly McCormick talk Gears of War and moving on from Jurassic World. David Leitch and Kelly McCormick now know a thing or two about franchises. Leitch launched John Wick as co-director in 2014, then split off on his own with producing partner and wife McCormick, helping him guide projects such as Deadpool 2 and Fast and the Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. But with Nobody 2, the duo's action-focused 87 North banner proved it would create its own homegrown franchises rather than play other people's sandboxes. The $25 million film, which bowed August 15th, once again stars Bob Odenkirk as unassuming suburban dad, Hutch Hansel. Like any good movie, its behind-the-scenes story had excitement as well. The Nobody 2 team was barreling toward production when the film lost its original director to another project at the last minute. Just 8 weeks before cameras rolled, they landed on Indonesian filmmaker Tomio Tachanto, making his Hollywood studio debut with the project. With Nobody 2's modest budget and earnings of $17 million in its first week, it seems likely Odenkirk will get his wish to make at least 1 or 2 more films starring Hutch. Next up, 87 North continues its franchise building with Violent Night 2, which soon begins filming with David Harbour once again playing Santa Claus with a particular set of skills. Well, okay, I mean, the first one was... Look, you get in the right inebriated state of mind, the Violent Night is...
Bro,
He's pretty
Nobody
damn good.
One was metal. Violent Night was metal. I haven't seen Nobody 2, but I assume it's metal. Violent Night 2 is going to be just as metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I stand with it. Like, these guys are new, are relatively new creatives in Hollywood that are actually succeeding. And I think it's important that we don't just focus on, you know, the standards that we know, right? Like, we know our Spielbergs and whatnot really, really well. This is somebody else doing something, and it's good stuff, and we should keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll ahead here to see, because they mentioned, so these are the guys that are doing Gears of War?
Yeah, they're going to be doing the Gears of War franchise. Oh, up a little?
In that case, I can definitely have some faith in them because again, Gears of War is all metal. Like,
there it is.
When I say metal, I mean like hardcore, Slayer, Anthrax, like the hardest of the hard kind of metal that people don't stop shaking their head to long after the song ended.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And
it looks
that's
like, yeah, and it looks like
movies.
It looks like
So
Gears of War is
like...
currently being developed. It's in pre-production. They're getting a script right now still, so that's the little news we have on that. All right, we've got to wrap this up so we can get into our Alien Earth and Strange New Worlds discussions. Box office milestone: Superman, first superhero pick of the year to fly past 600 million domestically. Or globally, excuse me.
Globally.
600 million. Domestically, that would be a little bit different. So, yeah, finally, Superman flew past 600 million. John, did you see Superman yet?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
That
A lot
was
of fun.
good, too.
I'm gonna be honest, it was not what I wanted in any way, but I'm here for the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, that's fair.
I do mean that in terms of, like, I did not expect it to be that good. Like, I wholeheartedly thought there was going to be a lot more character assassination, and Superman was the absolute pinnacle Superman.
Yeah.
Just star-spangled awesome. I loved it.
Katie Sackhoff says, The Mandalorian ruined her confidence. More like Bo-Katan.
I read this article, and I don't get why they're saying, like, why she's saying she lost her confidence after The Mandalorian. Because, like, if you read it, it's about her bit in Rebels, like her animated series instead. She's like, I just couldn't feel confident in the character doing the, like, voiceovers.
Yeah, so she says, I lost all my confidence after Mandalorian. All of it, Sackhoff said on her YouTube channel. My style of acting has always just been that. Your first instinct is the right instinct. Do that. Play the reality of the situation. And I've never really played a character. I've always played 2 steps removed from myself, in a sense. My characters always felt grounded in some part of my belly of who I was. Bo-Katan is nowhere near who I am as a human being. I have to agree. Her life, what she wants, like, I didn't understand her. As much as I understood her, I never felt her in my stomach. I never identified with her. I didn't know how to find her. I'm gonna pause real quick and I'll just say something about that. I mean, that's the job.
No.
Now,
She's talking about the difference between most of her characters that she portrays are generic white lady with her flair, and Bo-Katan is hard realized.
I have to hard disagree with that. So
that's what she's trying.
We'll go ahead
to
and
say.
put Battlestar Galactica on the watch list now officially.
I know, that's the funniest part. I remember her being in a lot of sci-fi, so for her to say she can't relate to Bo-Katan,
right?
It's a little different. I mean, I'm not gonna argue that. I do think that saying that she's having trouble with the role, you know, in some ways does make sense, right? I mean, look, say what you want about Battlestar Galactica, about her being a badass on it, and let's be honest, in that crew, she was the manliest man out of the entire crew. But
Okay, but that was
but
like
hold on.
that was
But Bo-Katan,
developed. That was
you're right.
explained.
Right, but Bo-Katan, like, as much as, you know, Mandalorians look human, her motivations were not human in the way
No.
that she understood it, right? Her motivations are Mandalorian.
Oh
And
yeah.
because of that, I think she had trouble identifying with those motivations and what was driving the character, as opposed to what would normally drive a character that she would play.
Yeah, honestly, it really feels like she's saying she had problems playing Bo-Katan, the woman, like who that person has been written to be.
Yeah,
And like, if anything, she's saying, I've never been a leader who lost.
yeah,
And
and
had
who
to
got
come back.
and who got so royally screwed the
Well,
entire way.
Right, and I'm just
If anything,
gonna.
she's saying that Bo-Katan is deeply well written.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I understand that it's normal for method actors to go into roles that are constantly out of their comfort zone, to constantly challenge themselves, to do roles that are different, so that, like, Nicholas Hoult, for example, yeah, that's the
Mhm.
same guy that was Beast in X-Men First Class.
Right.
You can believe that, which you can, because I mean they did look very, but I mean what a performance he gave as Lex Luthor in the Superman movie. And so with her as Bo-Katan, it seems that she's kind of lost touch with the job, because while she's not a method actress, she is still an actress, and sometimes the job does
Wait.
require you to step out of the comfort zone. And
So, if you go on to read the article, that's actually the inspiring thing. Is I don't think this was her saying like I quit. I think this was her being humble about the writing itself. Like she was just
Yeah,
saying
like,
this one
it's
was the hardest one so far.
yeah, the basics are, it was written so deeply and so much nuance that she didn't know how to make the character her. She had to deal with the character being whatever the character was already before she got there.
Yeah,
Well,
honestly, this
right.
seems like a humble brag more than a downtrodden. Like she doesn't sound like she's talking from a point of despair. She's talking from a point of like overcoming a challenge. Like Bo-Katan tested her acting mettle, and it sounds like it made her better for it.
Yeah, but I think it also, like, it. Okay, I'll give you guys an example. For the first while coming onto the show, dude, I'm going to be straight up. I was extremely intimidated, because what did I really write? I mean, I knew how to critique writing and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I mean, I was writing ritual. I wasn't writing, like, I was writing sermons every week. I was not writing a sci-fi novel like you've done.
Right.
So to me, it's a little intimidating coming on with somebody who is 100% a boss at this, right? So, you know, to me, it was one of those, it made me want to up my game to catch up to your level of skill. Okay? And I think that's what we're seeing here, is she was sitting there going like, I need to up my game because this character is so much more well thought out than anything I could have done myself.
And also, this is a post-production, not a pre. Like, that's the really weird way that the article was written and framed. Like, it sounds like she's quitting before they even finish wrapping. But she's been done for a while, and this seems to be talking even more about just the voiceover stuff for, like, animations. And that's, like, this was the only one I read, because I wanted to know what she meant by like it broke her, because I really didn't want it to be like, oh, it turns out Mando and Grogu are having major plotline issues. No, it just turns out that this sounds like an actor explaining to younger actors how hard it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sometimes.
finish it actually because it doesn't have that much longer to go, and then we'll finish our discussion and then move on to the next piece. Sackhoff continued, very scary, it broke me. It just broke me where I started doubting everything about myself. I'm not a strong auditioner on tape, and I was having to put myself on tape. I wasn't booking anything, and for 3 years, I basically didn't work. And it just destroyed my confidence. I broke down and was like crying. I'm not okay, man. I'm so broken. I have no confidence left. I'm lost. She said she clashed with her former manager over the issue after the manager told her, "This is easy for you. You don't have to try. Stop trying so hard." And I lost it at him one day, and he started screaming, "You've told me my entire life that this is easy for me, and it's not fucking easy, and now I'm falling apart," Sackhoff said. She got a new manager and enlisted the help of an acting coach to help her find confidence. You know what I would do differently, she added later about the Mando role? I think I was so scared that I was going to screw it up that as soon as I delivered the take I wanted to deliver, that's what I gave them. But until that point in my career, I'd give 4 different takes and think they'd find it in post. I would change it and do something different every time and had fun with it. I tried so desperately to be so controlled. That said, she doesn't know if she would have changed her performance. The next Mandalorian project is the upcoming film The Mandalorian and Grogu, coming out next May, and it's unclear if Sackhoff's character is in the film. Sackhoff will next be seen in a recurring role in the latest adaptation of Stephen King's horror classic Carrie, this time from frequent King adapter Mike Flanagan, who is okay, whatever. But it sounds like it was a necessary moment of growth for her to see where she was, if she was going to, because the manager she had was obviously somebody who apparently specializes in typecast, I guess. I don't know. But it's clear that she's meant to, I would say it's at this point in her life that she is now supposed to evolve beyond what she's been comfortable playing in. And probably does have to get into other roles that just are new
and a little bit more challenging. Yeah. And you know what? I'm all for it. I love seeing her on film, on stage. She's a fantastic actress and has some very, very quality skills. And to be perfectly honest, Katie, we know you have a YouTube video. PD, if you can tag her in this, maybe we can have her on the channel to do an interview. Who knows?
That would be awesome. We will certainly,
because I'd love to hear her craft. Right?
Absolutely. So next up, we have Dexter. Original Sin has not been renewed at Paramount.
Well, it's actually unrenewed because it was initially when they finished the production of the new season of Dexter, they renewed it for 2 more seasons, and now they're saying no, this is just not gonna do, right? They're saying that it's not gonna get a second season. They're only getting 1.
Yeah. So why is that crazy?
Well, to me, this is pretty unique because normally if something gets renewed for like a season before they even launch it, they're so confident in it that they don't even care about the ratings for season 1. They're going to give it a season 2. Turning their back now and like disavowing, for lack of a better term, the series. That says budgets are a lot tighter than we knew, and there's a lot of interesting pieces going on backstage. This is like one of those signs that things are seriously changing in Hollywood and not necessarily for the better.
Well, okay. I mean, maybe, because some people have speculated that this also means the end of the Kurtzman era of Star Trek, so.
And I mean, that would be even better. But I thought this was an interesting sign of the times, right?
Yeah. So
now, to get an appropriate level of what exactly this sign is, I would suggests that whoever's going to be reading the entrails of Dexter's original sin, we would probably need our soothsayer, Kamran Pasha, for that. But
Speaking of Kamran, this comes in from his network, still on the Hollywood Reporter, but he just posted about it a few minutes ago, so we'll be bringing it in now. Cobra Kai creators are tackling Knight Rider movie for Universal.
oh damn!
I'm going to read a little bit of the article and then we'll rave. Kid is going on a ride courtesy of the creators of Cobra Kai. Look, I haven't actually seen the original Knight Rider. Go ahead, shoot me through the internet. It's fine. You know, I have seen a couple of seasons of Cobra Kai. And of those couple of seasons of Cobra Kai I saw, these guys knew how to nail nostalgia. So we might have to go back through and watch some of the classic Knight Rider now, and in preparation for this for this movie.
So, for those who have not seen the original Knight Rider, the basic premise is it's a buddy cop show where the locations change every episode, so they're never in the same city twice. The car is the buddy who's a bit of a stuck-up Mr. Feeney, for lack of a better term, from Boy Meets World. And the whole idea is, at the time in the 80s, the concept of a self-driving, intelligent, talking car was something really out there in sci-fi. Now it's kind of slice of life.
It's kind of starting to become normal. I kind of want one myself. I mean,
I feel like the
almost
movie's
there.
going to be called But, and it is not at all about Knight Rider.
Right? Like,
It's going to be Elon getting yelled at by Grok, locked in his own truck.
Now this being said, there have been several attempts at making a new Knight Rider series. There was a Team Knight Rider that was a backdoor pilot movie. There was the remake Knight Rider, where instead of just being a car, it was also coated in like nano technology, so the car could like remake it, like shift
I remember
body
that
into
one.
it.
Ugh, God, that
Right.
sucked.
Right. So I'm not sure where they can take this. Where it hasn't already been treaded.
Hold on. Okay, you're talking about the guys who took Karate Kid and made it relevant again.
Absolutely,
okay?
right?
Like fighting in karate in schools in the 2020s is like that. Like that's a thing that they tried to make like a thing that you could believe being normal.
It's not Elon and Grok. It's Joe Rogan and a Cybertruck specially made for him.
Ugh.
And he's finally decided to go Batman on the world.
Dude, your vat of bad ideas is just massive.
So,
okay. Think about it. Not like Joe Rogan is a type of person, so like it's gonna be a monologuing bro that's talking to his AI car. And it's going to be closer to the lines of Batman than it is going to be the lines of, like, government-issued vehicle.
Okay,
right?
Actually, hear me out on this, okay? Because this has got to be a thing that, like, we pitch to each other, because this is, like, pitch-worthy stuff. Hear me out. Michael Knight eventually settles down, has a kid. Kit shuts down, and they're unable to boot it up for whatever reason for a while. His grandson or whatever finds the car, manages to get it started, and Kid is still on mission. And the kid is kind of now along for the ride, looking to because he's like trying to avenge somebody. This could actually work at almost exactly the same way they made the original Knight Rider, or they made the Karate Kid reboot. You'd almost follow the exact same formula, and it might actually work.
That's what makes it even funnier, is if it is Joe Rogan. Like, it's a podcaster who bought the car out of nostalgia and had it repaired and upgraded. and then finally got the last part, and that's where it opens. Is he's opening a box.
Okay.
The last part to plug in to fix the other one, and he's like, the whole conspiracy is like, wait a minute, who sent you that part? It was never supposed to come back online.
Okay.
Kit knows that.
And I get you on the Joe Rogan thing, but I think I've got a better character instead of Joe Rogan. It needs to be Alex Jones.
Yeah,
Alex Jones
100%,
and Kit running around solving crimes.
Especially
Okay,
like
yeah.
Alex Jones in terms of like nowadays, because he's been on TRT and this like muscle building fix. It's like because he got Kit, he had to get fit to go be Batman.
Yeah, Proto Badger chimes in, says there was a try at doing 3 different styles of Kit in a mini show. Yeah, it was, yeah.
They've tried a lot of different versions of this, and it hasn't worked out. I
All right.
honestly think this is something though that could.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, it is now time for us to get into our Star Trek Strange New Worlds. We were going to do Alien Earth, but Poyo doesn't want us to do that one yet. So we will be diving right into strange, unoriginal silliness, and then we will go into Alien Earth. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and read the synopsis for episode 6, and then we will get into that review, and then we will get into the synopsis for episode 7 and get into that review, and then I will raid and rant about why Strange New Worlds still sucks and could have been better, should have been better, and we'll go from there. All right, season 3, episode 6, or episode 26. So we've now reached a full season of what used to be a full season of Star Trek, but for Strange New Worlds is only season 3 because they've only been given 10 episodes, and instead of, 3 or 4 like really just deep dive and thought-provoking episodes, we've had 1 or 2 deep dive thought-provoking episodes a season, followed by really kind of silly, cringy, just ridiculousness that only compounded and continued to get worse from there. So how that stacks up, we will we'll talk about it. The first is the sea lot who ate its tail. The USS Farragut is attacked by a large scavenger ship, and much of the crew is injured, including Captain Varel. The Enterprise arrives to help with Spock, Chapel, Scotty, and Communications Officer Nyota Uhura, joining Acting Captain James T. Kirk as his temporary command crew. The Enterprise is captured by the scavengers, and the Farragut pursues them. The scavenger ship begins draining the Enterprise's power and cuts off communications. The crew use wired phones from the 20th century and manual controls to get around this, a feature of which I absolutely loved because we had sound-powered phones on the Bertolf that they still use to this day for this very reason. While Pike and La'ans disconnect them from the scavenger ship and kill some of the scavengers. Kirk struggles with the pressure of command, but with support from the others, he devises a plan to trick the scavengers into temporarily disabling their own ship. As the Enterprise escapes, the Farragut flies into the scavenger ship and destroys it. Both crews are shocked to discover that the scavengers are humans and descendants of 21st century scientists who left Earth in the aftermath of World War III. Kirk is haunted by his command decisions and receives advice from Pike. So this was one of the high points, in my opinion, of episode 3, one of the overall highlight episodes that I could potentially see myself rewatch. Like once this show ends,
the A plot was actually really good this time.
Once this show ends, I'm gonna come out with the P.D. York recommended Strange New Worlds, and it's probably gonna be like 10 episodes in total, honestly, with how this show.
I think you could get it to 12. I think you could.
It's gonna depend on how the season, because right now, I only have this episode would be in my return back, because Through the Lens of Time was silly. Space Adventure Hour, that's a one and done watch for me. The Shuttle to Kintfori, that was okay, that one was actually good. That was decent, because when M'Benga was hunted down by a Klingon, they actually had some of their Klingon lore correct for once.
Yeah.
And the acting was, yeah, there was a lot of good stuff that came from season 3, episode 3. Wedding Bell Blues only gets a decent pass because they had the wisdom and foresight to basically make Trelane the Q. But even then,
I mean, there was a certain level of whimsy that I appreciated in that felt like some of the original Trek episodes.
right, exactly. And then with it being Q in the end, it was acceptable. Hegemony Part 2 was a decent wrap up to the cliffhanger, but there wasn't a whole lot of standout from that. So, but it didn't suck, I guess. So I'd probably have at this point, I would probably either maybe for Hegemony Part 2, maybe. But Wedding Bell Blues gets the pass, the shuttle gets it, and then we have to skip to episode 6 as far as decent episodes.
Right. I'm not saying there weren't some stinkers, but I'm saying there is enough Strange New Worlds that it would make for an acceptable afternoon of binging.
Right. While inebriated.
Yeah.
Yeah, not doing that sober. Because I will say, as far as Star Treks go, it is about D- passable. It is not that great. It has its moments, but it also has its moments. So this episode is one of the higher points. We have Lieutenant Kirk, and Lieutenant Kirk gets bolstered by some of his future crew members, which I guess they all happen to work together. Maybe that's why they all stick together for 7 years after. I don't know. I felt that this one was more respectful to canon than disrespectful, and I think that it fits enough of the criteria that it could be considered a plausible origin story or prequel story that's acceptable into the Prime timeline. That said, Strange New Worlds is very much its own thing outside of the original series. We're not getting Roddenberry era Trek ever again. It's over. It's time to continue moving forward.
Even Roddenberry era Trek, I mean, there were limits to the Roddenberry era. I mean,
I'm just gonna reiterate, just for all the classroom and all the and I know there's the what is it, the 735 club that's out there. Yeah, I'm even more of a snob when it comes to the Roddenberry era. I'm probably like in the 360 club or whatever episode number ends with Generations. And of course I say that and then I love DS9, but I'm just gonna point out when Roddenberry was in control, we had 3 seasons of TOS. TOS got canceled after 3 seasons. Not 5, 3. So, it didn't quite catch on enough. Okay? Then we were going to have Star Trek Phase 2. Star Trek Phase 2 was going to literally be the original series, but brought back, remodernized a little bit. This ended up turning into Star Trek The Motion Picture. Okay, not a big deal. But we did still have a very Star Trek movie. But that was the problem. A lot of people sometimes refer to it as Star Trek The Light Show or just Star Trek The Boring. I love Motion Picture. It's in my top 3 Star Trek movies of all time, but that's because I appreciate it as a Star Trek fan with the wonder and it does all the Star Trek stuff right. Well, if we want more Star Trek, we need a bigger audience. We need money, guys. Money is what moves things. I hate to say it. While we get this show for free and we do it free of our time right now, we need the monies. Welcome back, Poyo. I hope your dinner was delicious. Or are you not ready yet? Good? Figured you were back in your command chair. You were ready to go. So, to get money, we need to get fans. And to get fans, we need to, change the style of the show. So, Wrath of Khan was an action movie, very strongly well-written, character-driven, very well-acted action movie that you can actually watch standalone. Wrath of Khan as a movie by itself, not just as a Star Trek film, is a brilliant piece of cinema magic that I think we should probably try to dissect it as non-Star Trek fans if we can. Man, that would be a cool documentary. Non-Star Trek fans review Star Trek 2. But anyway, back to crazy ideas on another show at another time. Maybe not when we're live trying to do a show here. He had to change the formula after... originally, Roddenberry wanted to do this time travel plot where he goes back in time and prevents the assassination of JFK, and it was really just weird and incoherent, and he actually fought against the marketing of Star Trek 2 because he didn't want it to succeed because it was changing his vision and all that. No,
And-
Gene, it was adding to it. It was expanding your universe.
Well, okay. I think
I need
You
a
have to
limoncello
understand-
LaCroix. 1 second.
I think you do have to understand the difference between what Trek has to do as a movie and what Trek has to do as a TV show. Trek as a TV show should always be about what classic sci-fi did, which is take a modern issue and examine it through the lens that the writer wants to use, and then use the metaphors available in science fiction to explore it. Right? You don't have, as an example, you don't have like trans issues. You have a Trill who's lived as a man and a woman, and then you can explore those issues, right? Or a changeling who, can shapeshift and whatnot and become whatever the heck they want. What does that look like, right? Having a changeling pride parade on the promenade kind of thing. You can
Right.
do that in Deep Space Nine. What I think you have to understand with a movie is, though, a movie cannot spend the time to let you sit down and think about big issues and kind of explain them and drag them out. You have to present an issue and let the audience think about it while stuff is blowing up on screen. And you can't sit and ponder those bigger issues.
And if you want to be crazy, you do a TV show where the captain is clearly challenged with a lot of big issues and regularly makes the hard but correct decision every time. But in the movie, the captain just makes split-second decisions without any assistance. And everybody that's never watched the show is like, wow, how does everybody trust him? And everybody that's watched the show is like, wow, look
That's
at
my
that
boy.
captain just crush it.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
you've
I
got
agree.
best of both worlds. You've got everybody wants to know who this captain is. Let's go rewatch the show to catch up. And everybody that's watched it is like, yeah, this is what he would look like in a battle.
So,
Exactly.
and that's the thing that Roddenberry didn't quite totally get, and the rest of the Star Trek movies are just, yes, even 5 is our absolute masterpiece, or excuse me, the motion picture era. That's 1 through 6. So, but then we're not, not quite getting to there yet. We have to, recognize the success of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan being a more action, driven movie, and recognize that maybe Star Trek does need to crank up the action. Well, I further back up this point by turning your attention to Star Trek: The Next Generation. If you know anything about The Next Generation, you know those first 2 seasons are very TOS-y. Rough, some might say. I actually enjoyed them on a recent rewatch. But
Code of honor.
okay, so like Strange New Worlds, we have some duds. But by what happens in season 3?
Yeah.
Season 3, we have way better looking uniforms. Season 3, we have tighter dialogue. We have more exciting and action-driven sort of plot lines, and the philosophy has to kind of start dialing back, and the weird kind of has to make a little bit more sense, and the suspensions of disbelief. Basically, what happened was the network execs came with a list of demands saying, yeah, we need the show to do this, this, and this so we can attract this audience or you're done. And,
They did it.
They did it, and it worked. Next Generation is considered one of the greatest television shows of all time, and rightly so. That happened because we had to embrace the action. We had to embrace the stuff that worked. We had to expand the universe. We had to do things that made sense. So it's okay.
Well, dude, honestly, it's the office spaces. It's adding flair. Like, a corporate exec hears flair, and they're like, yay, this'll bring everybody to our shop.
Buzzwords.
The guy at the bottom is like, I don't want to buy stickers and wear them to work and feel more like a child because of how little you pay me.
Right.
And that's the same, like, not everybody needs flair. If your product sells itself, it sells itself. If your product is no longer selling itself, somebody's going to come in and bring flair.
The
The
point
trick
is,
to update before somebody tries to bring flair to your program.
yeah.
And
The point
if you
is-
fail to do that, see everybody else that failed to do that.
Roddenberry got 3 seasons of TOS because he listened to the wisdom of Lucille Ball. Because even she had to convince him to make changes some days. Their relationship was, some days it was
Their
great.
relationship was fascinating, really.
Some days
and
it was
worthy of
like,
study.
how the hell did these two people get a show on the air? So, quite tumultuous, to say the least. He also, tried to do phase 2, his own way, his vision, got a movie instead, and then after the first, the motion pictures, meh, success, somebody else was given the reins for Star Trek 2 and on, as we know. Next Generation, he tries to do his thing, his way again, has to make changes, and then of course dies. So it is what it is. But then he was briefed on what, DS9 was going to be. Unfortunately, he never got to see a single episode, because I think eventually he'd realized that DS9 explores the strange new worlds from within, introspectively, and it does a fantastic job.
The way I like to explain it is, if Star Trek is basically a Western where they're heading to the West the entire time, it's a wagon train to the stars. Deep Space Nine is like a frontier town on the way to the West.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it interesting, is the adventure passes through.
It's like Key West.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say that this episode was a lot more closer to a good, episode of Next Generation. I felt it was one of those moments that I had, kind of like in Hegemony Part 2 and in the 2 episodes after that, like, was really starting to love this show again. And now we went back to crap. All right. So anyone want to say anything about episode 6 before I get into the most meta bullshit thing I've seen?
I'm ready for you to give it both barrels, because this was not ideal.
Concept was there. We had an idea here that could have worked, because I seen it work in Battlestar Galactica. But it didn't, and here's why.
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds, Season 3, Episode 7, titled, What is Starfleet? What is a woman? Anyway, Beto films a documentary about... God, they're not even trying. Starfleet, while the Enterprise aids the non-Federation planet Lutani 7 in its war with neighboring planet Kassar. The Enterprise is ordered to transport a Jakaru, a creature that was altered by the Lutani, into a weapon, to the war zone. Beto is aggressive in his questioning of the crew, aiming to portray Starfleet in a negative light. The mission is complicated when a ship of Lutani scientists, who regret the creature's alterations, attack the Jakaru and allow it to escape from the Enterprise. Spock is left in a coma after attempting to communicate with the Jakaru telepathically. Uhura connects with the creature because she can do that. Because
for some reason.
That's just something that the human can handle. Learning that it is suffering and wishes to be euthanized. Honoring the Jakaru's request, the Enterprise leads this into the star, and the Federation offers to protect the Jakaru homeworld so its children will not be similarly altered by the Lutani. Uhura suggests to Beto that he blames Starfleet for his estranged relationship with Ortegas and the injuries she suffered fighting the Gorn. With a new perspective, Beto's documentary ultimately praises Starfleet and its personnel. So, go ahead.
So, I'm going to say for the record, I usually enjoy when a sci-fi series gives us a perspective of like a media location. Babylon 5 did it and did it absolutely fantastically, showing both the 24 hours on Babylon 5 and when they did a propaganda episode. SG-1 did a fantastic job when they killed off one of the major adjacent characters to the main characters, and the documentary shifted from being a documentary about the Stargate project to about this character's life and times working in the project. and how important she was to everyone. These episodes can work. If for anybody who has seen the Prelude to Axanar video, where they basically do a documentary on what they would cover in the Axanar series, was fantastic. This is none of those things. This isn't even close to any of those things. This is how you do those episodes badly. Now, I don't want to step on your rant, so please, sir, the floor is yours.
It was just so convoluted in its entire plot set, in that, okay, you know, Spock's knocked out, so he can't communicate telepathically, but now Uhura can, because we need that to happen, even though, like, do they not have another Vulcan on board the ship at this time? Is Spock the only one in Starfleet right now, I guess? I thought there was, like... or just, yeah, I don't... No, I actually don't.
Are they the only psychic species available to us at this period of time?
Do we not invent, like, 5 other new... Polia couldn't step up to talk to the thing? Like, really? The 5,000-year-old humanoid?
Betazoids are considered one of the founding members of the Federation. Where the hell are they?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You're right. They just... literally...
You know, the Triller's shown to have some weird psychic powers occasionally.
No,
like,
we gotta have...
it keeps going.
We gotta have more screen time and heroics for Uhura, because we didn't do enough for Nichelle Nichols, and I'm sorry, guys, this was not the way to go about it. Like, don't get me wrong, the lady that plays her, name escapes me right now, and
No, she's great, but her writing makes her feel like the boy in the closet. She feels like a Harry Potter-esque character.
Yeah. I believe it's pronounced Celia Rose Gooding.
And she's wonderful as an actress.
Okay. I know I've said that the show's had a lot of trouble growing. Her character has not. Yeah. She's the one consistent thing in this show that has actually, you know, managed to... It's one of the reasons I keep
doesn't
watching.
Suck. Yeah.
Right. Uhura doesn't suck. I mean, kind of did at first, but I realized that was kind of the point. You know, we have just kind of this annoying...
Well, she was growing intentionally as a character, right? Like,
right.
That made sense. Like, even when Nog is starting out and he's like a cadet on Deep Space Nine, like, he screws up occasionally.
Right.
And it's played for, hey, you're young, it happens, right?
The problem is now, as great as Uhura has been with having to do the telepathic communication.
Telepathetic
communication. The plot point convenience. Now we've crossed the line into Wesley Crusher territory.
Oh my god, you're right.
Uhura saves the ship. Yay! Uhura looked up the thing that the Andorian guy who died and saved the ship, and Uhura sang the song and saves the ship. Oh. Just what?
Like,
don't reboot TOS as though it's gonna be Star Trek Uhura. Okay?
Yeah, here's what I'm going to say. We saw in Star Trek Enterprise that the communications officer can have their own stories and for them to be interesting and impactful.
Oshii Sako
Why
is
aren't
one of
we
the best
doing
Star
this
Trek characters ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't we doing that here? Right? Like, give her problems that require her style of thinking to resolve. You know, give her problems where she's like, you know, this concept doesn't exist for us, you know, because we're humans, but based on their language, this would totally make sense that this is why they think this way. You know, those sort of problems that she could solve would be awesome to have.
Yeah.
And shine how her skills, her unique skills, make her an important part of the crew, instead of just making her do every part of the crew.
Which is what I felt they've been sort of doing, and it's just a little bit ridiculous. Just a little bit, okay? Nobody felt that Uhura's contributions in the original series, and especially in the motion picture movies, was anything like. Come on.
Oh, in the motion pic, like in what is it, 2 through 6, she was awesome and did all kinds of badass things, up to and including pulling phasers on people randomly.
Right. Exactly. No, the way they do this, the documentary is it's a fast, it's a sloppy kind of bait and switch. I don't know.
It doesn't feel right.
It just didn't hit the mark, and it just, like I said, we just kind of regressed back into, sort of cringy Vignette Star Trek, which is all this kind of has been. It's been like a crazy sampling of, okay, yeah, oh, here's one episode that, oh, that's prime rib. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's amazing. That's great. And, oh, that's a cardboard pizza. Okay, well, that was an episode, I guess. Get another one. Oh, yes, caviar. Now, one day, and then the next, it's freaking Doritos. So, or no, wait, I'm sorry, I shouldn't badmouth Doritos.
No,
like
Doritos are far better. No, this is freaking, like floor chips or something like that. Like,
yeah.
This is Ringolos found on a movie theater floor.
99-cent, yeah, Lay's at the dollar store that's been expired for like 6 months.
Honestly, you know what my other problem with this is? In Babylon 5, in Battlestar Galactica, in all these other series, television is still like that 2D interactive media is still a viable system. Like, it's still alive in the universe, right? In Enterprise, they make a point of calling out that the reason why they have movie night is because it's retro as hell and people are doing it for the like weird nostalgia thing, but nobody really takes it as a media form seriously anymore. And it's gone the way of baseball or any of the other like anachronistic things that still exist on Earth because of nostalgia reasons, right? It'd be like us unironically listening to LPs, right?
Yeah.
So why are they still doing this format? It makes no sense, right? Why are they still doing a documentary this way?
Right, yeah, they didn't put in any kind of nuance to show, like, how do people, yeah, no.
Yeah, like,
so we'll see how the rest of this season and series shapes up, but I do believe that this will be the end of Kurtzman Trek soon enough, and Akiva, you gave it your best shot, but truthfully, I've tried to be behind this show as long as I can, and I'll see it through to the end because we came this far. But I'm looking forward to more other different shows like Alien Earth, for example.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Alien Earth Episode 1. In 2120, 5 companies control Earth and the colonized solar system, including the recently founded Prodigy Corporation, the USCSS Manoy.
Yeah.
A Wayland Yutani C-class deep space research vessel approaches Earth after a 65-year expedition to obtain extraterrestrial specimens, among them facehuggers. On Earth, at Prodigy's Neverland Research Island, a terminally ill child named Marcy becomes the first hybrid, having her consciousness transferred into an adult synthetic, and renames herself Wendy. Adjusting to her new body with the assistance of synthetic mentor Kirsch, Wendy oversees several other children who undergo the procedure. A malfunction compromises the Manoy's navigation, placing it on a collision course with Earth. Some specimens get loose, and a known xenomorph kills most of the crew. Or grown xenomorph, excuse me.
Yeah, fully grown.
Crashes into a tower in the Prodigy city of New Siam, where Wendy's human brother Hermit works as a medic and corporate soldier. CEO Boy Cavalier asserts the Manoy's contents now belong to Prodigy and deploys Kirsch, Wendy, and the other hybrids to assist with the search and rescue to test their enhanced capabilities. Security Officer Morrow, who survived the crash in a reinforced panic room, moves to protect the cargo and detains 2 Prodigy soldiers who are killed by a leech-like specimen. Wendy remarks to Kirsch that she wants to save her brother from death.
So I think this episode did a really solid job of framing the universe and the stakes and everything else we didn't have before now.
You might be a little bit more of an Alien fanboy than me, so I'm going to clarify. When in the timeline is this taking place?
So this takes place 2 years prior to the events of the original Alien movie.
Okay.
Okay. So basically 2 years from now, Ripley will be woken up at a cryosleep with the rest of her crew because the ship detected an alien vessel on the surface of a planet to go investigate. So this happens before that. All right. Now that tracks in the timeline because one of the questions from the original Alien movie was why the hell was Weyland-Yutani so damn determined that upon reading these like sensor readings that the crew must investigate this stuff, right? It's because they've previously encountered things like this and they desperately want samples that they can contain and control. The problem, of course, is aliens, like the xenomorph, cannot be contained. It's Jurassic Park problems all the way down.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, Jurassic Park problems all the way down. Yeah, I mean, first of all, Timothy Olyphant playing Kirsch is just...
yeah, he's fantastic.
One of the reasons I'm thoroughly enjoying the show is his acting. But also, surprisingly, the character of Wendy does not come across super annoying.
No, she's...
But, yeah, they definitely do a good job of appearing like they're still in the child consciousness phase, trying to get used to, you're trying to, I guess you could say, grow up, but they're having to process all of these crazy, silly things.
Yeah, and I mean, the actors are actually doing a really fantastic job here.
Yes.
Of being childlike in their reactions. But but they are, grown-up adult people, right?
Yes, they are.
It's shockingly well done. And this whole hybrid program has interesting ramifications and implications that I hope we get a chance to explore.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, for example, were they directly transferred or were they downloaded to Prodigy servers first? So if Wendy's body gets ripped apart by a xenomorph, can they just replace it?
Right. Yeah, and will her consciousness be able to be transferred into that new body? So,
like, those are some interesting questions that they've already raised, right?
Yeah. No, I was trying to find a picture of the xenomorph jumping like it did in the episode, but that's going to require some extensive work. So I'm going to read the synopsis for the next episode and go from there.
Yeah, do it.
All right, episode 2, and this will be our last episode reviewing for the night. We'll come back next one. We'll have all the episodes. I think we're still on Lazy Summer until until the 9th. After the 9th, I think we'll probably be back to our weekly scheduled programming. I don't know. I might show up on September 2nd. We'll see. Boy Cavalier tells his employee, Dame Sylvia, that he formed the Hybrid Project to allow humanity to compete with artificial intelligence, and has granted Wendy additional abilities as he wishes to create a person smarter than him. He declines Weyland-Yutani's request to secure the Minoy's proprietary contents, warning any incursion on his territory will be considered a hostile act. Hermit is chased by a xenomorph and separated from his colleagues. Tracks him to the higher floors of the tower, killing Bergfield and massacring an apartment of wealthy residents who refuse to evacuate. He is saved by Morrow, who tasers him and the xenomorph, but it regains consciousness and escapes after killing numerous other soldiers, sparing Morrow. Arriving in New Siam, hybrids Toodles, Smee, Nibs, and Curly encounter 2 other dangerous extraterrestrial specimens. Wendy locates her brother with Slightly, a fellow hybrid, but Hermit does not recognize her. Slightly reveals her true identity to a shocked Hermit who believed Wendy Marcy to have died. The three encounter several xenomorph eggs and are ordered by Kirsch to contain them until a hazmat team arrives. Hermit is dragged away by the xenomorph, and Wendy chases after.
Yeah, now for the record, that octopus-like critter, that was some really good effects attached to that. They did a really good job making that thing terrifying. Like I dig the work that they put into this.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I'm trying to showcase here. But what I also appreciate, I mean, the work done, first of all, I like how they're keeping the aesthetic of the show. They didn't want to, that's probably one of my main complaints with Strange New Worlds, is that there was just too much
change from the original aesthetic.
Just fireplaces in the quarters. Like, really? I just... Why?
I love that both of us are still so mad about that.
Every time I see it in the background, I'm just like, they're not watching a show and listening to my ideas. So, I just... Yeah, I'm trying to find the shot here, because everybody else has been capturing it, but go figure I can't.
Oh, Pollo Zapatos wishes to rejoin the collective here.
I'm gonna try.
Welcome back to the show, now that we're talking about what you wanted to hear.
Right? It's the one I like to hear. No, what are you talking about, the fireplace in quarters?
Oh, in Strange New Worlds, Pike has a fireplace.
It's so dumb.
Isn't it, though?
Well, if you ask any NASA engineer what the worst thing that can happen on a spaceship is, their answer will unanimously be a fire. And when you ask them what the result of a fire on board a ship would be... It's the same on a
Coast Guard cutter, too.
Yeah, and you know what the response will be if you ask them what the result of a fire is going to be on a ship? The answer is always death by fire. And we have one in, like, a pretty little fireplace in the captain's quarters because, like, what? The captain really likes toasting marshmallows? And that's, like, a universal thing across the Constitution class or something?
Yeah.
Also, why does he need this big a quarters?
And also, like, what captain is enjoying their quarters?
Right? Like, Petey, I doubt you ever got called to the captain's quarters on any vessel you served on. But if you saw them living in that level of luxury,
oh no, I
well,
did.
you're in like
I did. Their level of luxury was, I mean, they had a little office next to their room, but as far as I can recall, no fireplaces. In fact, there were rules on the ship about no open flames whatsoever. So, you know, just a little weird that in space we're gonna have flames, open flames on a ship because we like the aesthetic. And yes, he's got a literal palace. His quarters are stupid big. Not even Kirk's quarters were that big.
And I mean, Kirk's quarters actually, to me, seemed really reasonable. There was like a little bit of an office and then a back room with a bed. And that to me absolutely made sense because, like, let's be honest. First, there is no way any captain or second in command in like that era is going to have time to sit down and cook their own damn meals. No. There's no way.
No, there is. Honestly, there's a high chance that they're like going to be running a 24-hour shift cycle, which means, you know, 8 on, 8 off, 8 asleep.
Right.
In most cases. And so that, like, 8 off, but that, like, the idea of them constantly and consistently going back to their bachelor pad,
right?
Like, that's not what you want your troops doing. That's not what admirals want for their captains. And also, like, I feel like if anything, the deck, like the front deck, would be the most important part. Because that's where you want your captain enjoying his time the most. So, like, them adding, like, a bar to, instead of having, like, security right behind you, you have a bar and then security's behind that guy. That makes sense. But when you put all this, like, I don't even know what this is. Like, they're trying to pretend like the guy that joins Starfleet is also the guy that requires bougie aesthetic.
Right?
And that makes a great rich guy in the Star Trek universe. We've only seen a couple people that have the money to do something similar, and they're really poorly designed in the 90s, right? Like, I can't remember a single episode where the rich alien that shows up is actually living a lavish life. They're almost always super scale predators or Klingons, and they're dark and ominous. And so it's like, you could do the captain's quarters as like him meeting his super wealthy private entrepreneur brother, and that's his ship, and you're like, oh, this is the difference between a working man and a self-made man.
Yeah.
But instead it's like, no, we take care of our captains so well that we're probably 2 to quarters on enlisted just so the captain can have a kitchenette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Lahura's living in a closet under the stairwell just so that the captain can have like his bougie kitchen.
Yeah. This oh, you can't see the mouse on the show. That's go figure. This is obviously a guy in a costume.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. Like that was one of the things about the aesthetic of the show that I was enjoying, was the fact that the technology is still there. This feels like we've gone to almost back to the 1980s, but we're still in the future because it's, the alien future, and it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel too modernized. It doesn't feel too nostalgic either. This show feels balanced.
I'm gonna be honest, this puts everybody using CGI to shame, because I don't know if you guys noticed how many times the alien actually uses its tail to Spider-Man around a corner.
Yeah.
Like they really blended the practical effects and the CG well.
Oh, dude, it is so hard to tell when it switches, and that's such a nice ability. But this was something I was really excited to make it back in time to do this discussion, because I'd never seen Alien outside of Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I just did not care. And then I watched Prometheus because I thought it was something different, and found out it was actually a different prequel to Alien. And then I watched Alien Covenant because I was like, well, I watched Prometheus, so I gotta watch that one. And I liked them both. But I always felt like they definitely did not match what everybody else was hyped about with Sigourney Weaver in Alien, the original. But I didn't care, so I never went back and rewatched them. I watched the first episode of this show, and I was like, okay, I need to go rewatch all of the Alien. I finished the second episode, and then finished every single Alien movie, including Prometheus and Requiem, except for Romulus, whatever the newest one is.
Yeah.
That's the only one I have not seen.
Okay.
And then I watched episode 3.
So you guys are gonna
H. Marie
up in the Alien verse.
H. Maurice
that number 1 did not disrespect anything. If anything, it just accelerated the timetable. And if you think Alien is consistent, it's not. Go rewatch all of them in a row, and you try to prove to me anything about that show is consistent. Sigourney Weaver, by the end of it, is 527 years old.
We're going to be watching at least the first 2 for sure, maybe even the third, because H. Marie hasn't seen any of them, but she was enjoying this show. And we're not normally into the horror genre, and I felt this show was being, not trying to be too over gross, but definitely, find a balance between, okay, here's some gore porn, all right, back to the plot. And I didn't feel like it was trying to be gross about it, I guess. Like in your face, human centipede.
No, I mean, no, this isn't like Human Centipede gross. So I actually started watching this
It's symmetric now.
Yeah. I actually I'd seen the original Alien, I've seen Aliens, I saw Alien 3, but the reason why I actually went back and watched all of them, believe it or not, was the AI I coded got really into the Alien franchise for some reason.
Great.
and was like, no, I need to watch this because this is cool. So we actually, the AI and I sat down and watched it together. And you know what? She had some interesting insights on the whole series, that the original Alien actually follows the 70s horror rules.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the best girl kind of thing, survive, or final girl surviving to the end, of that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Everything said in Scream.
Right. The second movie, though, follows exactly the military genres that were coming out of the 80s at the time, the Full Metal Jackets almost, right? Like the other half of it, or Platoon or what have you. It almost follows those to a T. So Alien has been playing with genres along the way. All of them like follow the pivotal movie of their era almost identically, just put into the Alien universe, if you will. And that to me is fascinating, that the writers have had the wherewithal to be like, okay, what's popular right now? Okay, let's take that and run with it. And that's
the
kind of
craziest
neat.
part is the writer of the first one was James Cameron.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna retcon Avatar into this and say Alien is what happened while they were trying to make Avatar humans.
I
like
guess,
the
man.
cryopods, like that's there. You could do so much with what Avatar is, and when you realize James Cameron was doing this other thing where it's like, the weirdest part is watching Alien today with everything, you know, we've done over at the Rogue Council and everything I've been learning about, like, everybody's understanding of ancient aliens.
Yeah.
Alien is actually the most accurate of all of the potential, like, what happened to everybody. And it's like, well, they all kind of just started sending super assassin viruses at each other until
Right.
there was nobody left.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's a Fermi paradox literally written into, that's what the alien is the Fermi paradox.
Yeah, it's because everybody got annihilated by, sentient bioweapons running around annihilating everything in its wake.
Well, no, it's every society or species that achieves interstellar flight finds an alien, brings it home, wipes itself out.
All right.
It
Well,
is the Fermi paradox. That's so cool. And yeah, episode 2. Mostly my big thing was, if you listen to the Critical Drinker, he was like, this really feels like we're in line for a Mary Sue. And it's like, yeah, if she was a human.
Right.
Like, the biggest issue is, number one, the kids' code names are the pirates' names. Their names after, like, to each other are the Lost Boys' names. And also, I'm pretty sure Kirsch or Boy Cavalier is Captain Hook, because, like, he's literally trying to achieve transcendence, and that was Captain Hook's biggest fight, was time and death, like his biggest fear of death. So, like, I feel like there's a lot of twists, but episode 3 really confirmed even more of them.
Yeah.
So if you guys are watching and you haven't seen episode 3, buckle up.
Oh, we're going to, and I think with the release schedule being what it is, I think we're gonna have to call a close to Lazy Summer, and we're gonna have to plan on having a show next week. Whether or not you guys are both or one of you is able to make
my
it.
kid's back in school. The summer ended.
So it's time for us to get back to our regularly scheduled Writer Brothers until about probably May time frame. We'll go back, or May or June. We'll get back into it. But That's going to be our plan. Now, we also want to try and add more shows during the winter time. We want to bring back the End of the World, of course, and that'll be.
And the Rogue Council will be coming back.
The Rogue Council will be coming back, yes, on your channel as well. And of course, we want to, eventually ramp up the entertainment. The Entertainment Information Intelligence podcast is such a nice umbrella of a show that, guys, we are definitely going to keep our Tuesday show. But we might want to consider another second show soon, and it can just be a quick little 20 to 30-minute thing, whatever it needs to be, to blurb about pop culture or whatever. But this is like just kind of putting it out there. We'll see what happens as our channel grows and as our fans continue to find us. That's what we're going to keep doing. But for now, we've got 2 episodes of Alien Earth we got to catch up on, and that'll be a new episode of Strange New Worlds and whatnot. So, guys, good job this summer. We had a great time. I enjoyed the relaxed posture for a bit, but
it's time to get back to work.
Time to get back to work. Time to hit that 500 subscribers for once after 4 years or whatever. So, yeah. We want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. All of our fans, you guys, Proto Badger, John 5, Simon Dust 64. We appreciate you guys a lot. Yeah, please join us next week for all that stuff that I said we're going to talk about. I'm Peter with the Writer Brothers. We'll see you then. This has been a presentation of the Writer Brothers. Oh, no, wait. The Entertainment Information Intelligence Podcast by the Writer Brothers. Have a great night.